Hey friends, it's Teresa and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be me doing the 20 questions book tag. 20 questions book tag, okay? 20 questions book tag. I wasn't tagged by anyone, but I saw my friend Jessie from Bow Ties and Books do this tag video, and I really love the questions, and I think they're so different from other tags I've seen, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Let's just kind of get into the questions, because there's 20 of them, as the name suggests, and I talk. So we're going to start off with the first question, and that is, how many books are too many books? How many books is too many books in a series? I don't know if y'all can see behind the Pringles, but I have the majority, save for I think 4 books of Cassie Clare's. And they're all set in the same universe. They all line up, and they're all in the same kind of, like, I guess, series? Spin-offs? So, there is no such thing to me as too many books in a series. Primarily because as long as the plot is, like, cohesive, and the characters don't change in a way that's not true to the character to forward a plot along, y'all can make as many books as you want, and I'll just keep buying them. That is it. That is all. Question number 2 is, what do you feel about cliffhangers? And I will just say this with my whole chest. I love them. I love cliffhangers. I love writing cliffhangers, and I love reading cliffhangers. I think there's very well done cliffhangers, I mean. Like, there's a way where you can write it and twist it to where it, like, I guess one popular situation would be book 5, I want to say, of Game of Thrones, where that one character that we all know got the stabby stab. Like, everyone was like, oh my god, they're dead, with that cliffhanger. But then also, there's the no body, no proof scenario, which means, despite what happened to a character on the page, unless someone says the words, they dead, they gone, and the body is there, and it's not just a fade to black moment, then, by all accounts, they might still be alive. So I love cliffhangers. I love them. I say that even though when I finish a book and it has a cliffhanger, I'm like, no, I hate this. But I love them. I love cliffhangers, and I will until the day I die. Question number 3 is, do you prefer paperback or hardback? And as y'all can tell by the shelves, I like a mix of both. I love the durability and the aesthetic of the hardbacks, primarily because they're always the first covers, depending on who, where you got published, but they're pretty much always the first cover, so they always have, like, the nice, they typically have the nicer cover. So I do like hardcovers for that because they're durable, and there's that. But then I like paperbacks because they just fit and everything, and they're just so bendy. Like, I'm not gonna say, like, I'm gonna bend the book, you know, but they're just bendy. So I don't have to worry about, like, the book, like the paperback, like, dropping and dying dramatically, or it, like, ripping through the cover or everything, because they're bendy and they're flexible, so they can kind of take a couple more hits, despite them being paperbacks. Question number 4 is, what's your favorite book? And I sat with this painfully, and I ended up choosing 2 books, which is not even perfectly accurate because there's so many books that could be my favorite. But that is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller and The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. If you guys don't know what Song of Achilles is about, it's about a retelling of the great Greek myth of Achilles, told from the eyes of Patroclus, his lover. It starts when they were really young and goes all the way to the Trojan War. Well, you know, they just both kind of... I really enjoyed it. It's one of the first books that one of the few books before I became a sobbing mess that turned me into a sobbing mess. Like, I think I threw the book when I first read it. Then, The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo is a YA contemporary novel written in verse. It follows young Xiomara as she tries to kind of figure out what life is about and figure out exactly what it means to be who she is. She's struggling with her developing body, her wants and needs to be a person of her own, as well as the religion that her mother is trying to force upon her. Both amazing books, and I love them all in different ways, and I could list off like 5 more favorite books. Like, literally, I was talking about The Poet X, and I thought about Speak, which was I can also add to my list. And then there's Ivy Aberdeen. Question number 5 is your least favorite book. We all know that I could use a specific book. I could put one up here and y'all won't be surprised. But I'm gonna go with some books back in the past that I have read, and I'm gonna have to go with The Third Twin by C.J. Imololu. For C.J. Imololu's book, this is the third twin, and basically these two girls who are twins have always kind of used the fact that they're identical to switch so they can go to parties and boys and blah blah blah. That is until one day their date ends up dead. And as they continue to date around, they continue to keep dying. And since they're the last two, or I guess the last one, around, they're trying to figure out exactly who's committing these murders and why. Question number 6 is love triangles, yes or no? Yes, I love me a good love triangle. I think love triangles, when written really well, and not in the sense of like Twilight or something. I'm talking more like History's All You Left Me, the Infernal Devices, the Queen of Air and Darkness. Those love triangles, they're written so well. So amazingly well that you both couples, like sets of couples that are in the triangle, get equal screen time. You don't really know who's going to end up with who or what's going to happen, but you're still super excited to know and figure it out. I love them. Even if they're badly written, I'll probably still love them because, like, it's just angsty. Question 7 is the most recent book I could not finish. I'm going to have to go with Into the Water by Paula Hawkins. This is an adult thriller following this young girl who comes back to town, her childhood town, after her sister ends up in the river, dead. And she's not the only one who has been found in a similar manner. I had high hopes for this book, but in reality there were too many point of views. Way too many point of views. And I understood the reason for this. It was supposed to be to provide a sense of, like, you know, you can't trust witness statements, the memory is a foggy thing, and yada yada yada. But there were so many that I couldn't even trust what I was reading. Like, I couldn't even figure it out and try to piece together the actual events. And I felt like the heart of what the story was about was just not there. Question 8 is a book you're currently reading, and I'm currently in the middle of 2 books. Goodreads says 3, but I'm waiting for that third book to come back to me. But right now it's 2, and that is Howl's Moving Castle by Diane Wynne Jones and The Spellbook of Lost and Found by Moira Fowley Doyle. Howl's Moving Castle, we all know what this is about. It's I think it's a children's book, I'm pretty sure. It's a children's book following young Sophie Hatter, who ends up running into the mysterious wizard Howl, who is known for eating young girls' hearts. Spellbook is a YA contemporary fabulism novel following a group of kids who are currently losing a lot of things. Losing things randomly and for no particular reason. That is, until one day they find a spellbook that may have the answers to their questions, but also bring up a lot more problems in the process. Howl's Moving Castle is a reread for me. I had a friend of mine back in college lend me the book. I enjoyed it. I love the book and the movie are 2 completely different things. You guys are thinking they're going to be similar, they're 2 completely different things. I really enjoyed them both for their own reasons, but they're 2 different things. I'm currently enjoying Spellbook really well because it is set in Ireland. We have plenty of representation. I believe one of the girls is kind of a bit more on the curvier side. We have some bi-rep, some, what else? That's all I can think of off the top of my head. But I'm enjoying it a lot, and I can't wait to keep reading and hopefully finish it very soon. Question 9 is the last book you recommended to someone? I actually don't know. I think it was one of the fantasy books I was reading. I think I might have recommended it to my boyfriend. I don't know. I don't remember. Question 10 is the oldest book you've ever read, and that is publication date. And I found out this is actually Sundiata, an Epic of Old Mali. This came out in 1255. I read this for a class, and I really did enjoy it when I read it, but it's been so long, and I've read so many other epics and texts after this, after this book, that I could not tell you what this book is about. So I will leave any books that I have mentioned linked down below, and y'all can go ahead and figure out for yourself what Sundiata is about. Because I don't remember, and I tried looking up at Wikipedia, and I somehow confused myself even more, which I didn't think was possible, but here we are. Question 11 is the newest book you've ever read, and that is Arsenic and Adobo by Mia P. Manansara. This came out May 1st, and is an adult, kind of a light thriller. I have mentioned it in my vlog and my wrap-up, so I will leave those linked down below because I'm not reiterating what this book is about. I said it too many times already. Question number 12 is your favorite author? I have 3, and they're both YA at the current moment. No, one's not YA, just kidding. But that is Madeline Miller, Cassandra Clare, and Adam Silvera. Love them to tears. They're some of my favorite auto by authors. And then after that, we have our Taylor Jenkins Reid, our Elizabeth Acevedo. Question 13 is, do you love borrowing books or buying them? Both. I love borrowing books, like from friends and things, because I can see how much love is in the book, and it's very nice and comforting. I also love borrowing books from the library in case like I find a book that I'm interested in, but I don't know if I will like it. So I borrow it from the library to avoid paying for it and then spending money on a book I did not like. Genuinely, there are very rare times that I buy a book knowing that I will not knowing if I will like it or not. Because books are expensive. And while I'm more than happy to give a book to a new home, they're expensive. So I'd rather just make sure that I'm buying books that I will enjoy and stay in this home than do that. But like, I also like buying books because of my collection. I love having a collection of books, and it's going to be a very rough time for me if I ever decide to move out of the state, which will probably happen, because then I will have to figure out how to move this growing collection with me. But that is a problem for future Therese and her future partner. Question 14 is a book that you dislike but everyone else seemed to like. I really did not like A Flame in the Mist by Renee Ajay. Bought it when it first came out, and it was like characterized as like a retelling of Mulan, but set in Japan. And I did not like it. I don't think I have plans in the future to try to see if I will like it now, since I do like The Beautiful and The Damned. But as of right now, I really did not like it, and everyone seems to enjoy it, and I'm just like, meh. Question 15 is bookmarks or dog ears? Bookmarks. I have a little pail, like a cute little pail that my sister got me for, I think, my birthday a couple years ago, with all my bookmarks in it, and I do love collecting them. But say if I started a book and I didn't have a bookmark with me, or I lost the bookmark, then I'll either I'll do everything but dog ear, because like, I don't mind dog ear, like, you do you, boo-boo. But my thing is like, I'm afraid of the page ripping because you're folding it so much and kind of weakening that spot. So I do everything that I can before I dog ear, but I have dog eared a couple of my books. I believe my Twilight and Harry Potter books have been dog eared. My Night World books have been dog eared a couple times. Question 16 is a book you can always read, and I'm going to have to go with Song of Achilles. It's one of my favorite books. I love rereading the heck out of this thing. I do plan on doing another reread sometime in the future and just annotating, because I haven't annotated, but I now have 2 copies, so I can happily annotate it and then reread the other one in the future. And then the other one would have to be Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. It's the last book in the Infernal Devices, and it's so heartbreaking and so well done. I just love it so much. Question 17 is, can you listen to music while reading? It depends. And not like on the type of the music. Sometimes if I had my headphones in for a long time, like listening to music at work, or I'm doing chores around the house and I like pause and read, I will have to not listen to music, because then my brain is too focused on the music to focus on the book. But if it's been a hot minute since I've listened to music, I'll put the music in and listen to the music while reading the book. So it works out, but it really just kind of depends on what I've been doing with music that day. Question 18 is, can you do multiple POVs or just one? Multiple all the way. I love multiple POVs. I love seeing different scenes from different perspectives, different interpretations of a character, different voices. I do love the occasional like first person, but if I could, I would love to read nothing but multiple POVs. Like, that's why Daisy Jones is such a favorite of mine, because there's so many different and interweaving POVs at once that you're just trying to figure out exactly what happened, and it works, so you get to see the characters from so many different angles. Question 19 is, do you read books in multiple sittings or in one sittings? I would love to read a book in one sitting. I've done it a couple times, but not recently, because I've been so busy with like YouTube, writing, social life, and work, that I do have to take multiple sittings to enjoy and savor a book. But I would give anything to have a day where I just read and did nothing but read, and I finished a book in one sitting. question 20, and the final question is, who do you tag? And I'm going to go ahead and tag my friend Andrea from Andrea Reads and Armin from Armin Reads. So I will leave them linked down below if you guys want to go ahead and check out their channels before they upload their tags. But that is it for this tag video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's such a fun tag to make. I love tag videos. I love them. So if you guys have any more tags you want me to do, leave them in the comments down below, or feel free to tag me in anything. Just tag me over like on Instagram or Twitter or something, and I'll be sure to do them. But until next time, hit like, subscribe, comment, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Hopefully you guys have a good week, and if not, hopefully next week is good for you. Until next time, bye.